So we are back from Brighton. It's actually first thing in the morning because we got back super late last night. What a brilliant day. Met some awesome people again for the first time, and some people we met before. So we met my good friend Mark Ashton, Mark the Spider Guy, and then we caught up with Scott, another awesome dude. Honestly, such a lovely guy. Always brilliant to have chats with him. And then we had Lewis, Kris, Leah, Terry, Steve W, Mark and Victoria, lovely people, Vanessa, Kale, Andre, Dave Fisher, Luke from Spar Spiders, Danielle from Portsmouth Tarantulas, Ian Tarantula from Backmile Breedings and stuff. Yeah, Phil, who can forget Phil? We had a good old chat with Phil. Yeah, I mean, I probably forgot people. We had Chaz, Erin, who else? Just the list goes on and on and on. Some really cool people. Got to meet Sam from Bug Realms. Never met the guy before. Really nice guy. Show was good. Got there a little bit late. Parking was a nightmare. Apart from that, awesome day. I only went for one thing and came home with a lot more. Not intentionally, but it was a very nice day with a lot of generous people being very generous to me. Don't think it's deserved, but very much appreciated, and it just made my end of year awesome. A lot more special for reasons I will discuss later on. However, what we'll do is we'll quickly go through what I've picked up, and then we'll maybe have a look at some rehousings. So let's get on to that. So I will start off by saying I won a members giveaway on Mark Spider Guy's channel a couple of weeks back, and there were 4 slings in that giveaway, and they were supposed to be an HMAC, an L Velocipede, a Can Kraken, and an Electric Blue. And that slightly changed because unfortunately there was a couple of sling deaths, but he changed up the box and added a couple more to it very generously. It was a box of spice, shall we say. The only thing I couldn't do was I couldn't show you them being rehoused, because last night when I got home really late they were in tissue paper. I needed to get them out and get them into homes, and it was 3 o'clock in the morning. I wasn't going to sit there rehousing on video at 3 AM with these spicy little ones. But I will show you what I got from Mark. We have a Kilobrachys Psyyock sling. It's already webbed up loads in this tiny little thing, like tiny little deli cup. And let's get this focusing a little bit better. There we go. Yeah, Psyyock. Already webbed up loads in here and dug itself a little burrow. But we've got the Kilobrachys Psyyock, which is a lovely looking spider. We then have the Kilobrachys Cane Kraken. This one gave me the runaround. It got out twice, so that was quite entertaining at 3 AM. Again, this one has webbed up a lot already. Hasn't decided to go into the little tunnel that I dug for it and web up in there. I don't know, it's webbed up all to the lid, so that's going to be fun feeding that thing. Then we also have probably the least spicy of them all, Pumpkin Patch. I do have a Pumpkin Patch, but this is an awesome addition because the other one's growing quite fast, so hopefully this one will be similar growth rate. And I've given it like a semi-arboreally type setup with a bit of a leaf and some anchor points. Hopefully it'll web up. The other one's webbed up so much in its enclosure. They like it quite damp. So the soils are looking a little bit dark on this one, but it's a different substrate to the others. But little Pumpkin Patch. Then we have the Kilobrachys Electric Blue, which I don't know if you can see this already, but it has literally webbed the entire top of this enclosure already. it's worked overtime. I can't actually believe how much webbing this has put in already. But from here to here is just solid web. So that's good. I like that. And then we have the Killer Vietnam Blue, which has again done quite a fair bit of webbing, but it has actually used the little sort of paintbrush hole that I dug down the back for it. Hasn't webbed up as much, so the lid's going to be able to come off that one quite easily for feeding. But yeah, nice little one there. And then we have something that I've not seen before, and this one surprised me because when it came out I didn't realise it was going to be as big as it was. But this is the I'm going to ruin this name. It's the Formingachilus rufus, or species rufus, which is the Java tree spider. It's an Indonesian arboreal. Don't actually know at the moment. Oh yeah, it's buried itself at the back of the cork bark. This one I didn't have in here. I had it in a small like vial, then a deli cup, and then this, because when it unravelled its legs and gave itself a good stretch, it was a lot bigger than the others. But this is an awesome spider. Completely forgot when I was rehousing it that it was a old world arboreal, and just had it wandering around. Quite a timid spider by the looks of it. But yeah, they're lovely. And then the final one, which I haven't rehoused yet, it's still in tissue but it's moving, it's okay. The Stromatopelma calceatum, the feather-leg baboon. Thanks. No, this will be fine. It's already webbing up all the stuff in there, so I do need to get it out. The reason I didn't do it last night was I've got an enclosure for it, but I need to drill some air holes in the enclosure first. Mantis den, as you know, I always like to put holes in it before I do it. So this one needs holes before I build it. So I've got to drill some holes in a minute, and then that one will be rehoused. So maybe that one will be on video. It might not. I'm not sure yet. So they're all the gifts from Mark. I was then gifted from Kale and Andre this little Rasty, which is the Caribbean Purple, I believe, or Caribbean Diamond. Sorry, Caribbean Diamond. I don't know if you can see it, but this is a. It's not going to focus on that, is it? But it's quite big. It's about the size of my small fingernail. Awesome gift, absolutely awesome gift. So I really appreciate it, guys. Looks like a lovely spider, and it's literally drunk straight away off that. Awesome gift from Kale and Andre. Thank you very much for that. I then also got gifted. I know I keep turning around looking away, guys. Sorry. I got gifted from Mark and Victoria. Now, as some of you may know, I was pretty gutted about losing my ghost mantis nymph a while back, and they have bought me a ghost mantis nymph, which is quite a bit bigger than the one I did have. So I'm hoping this one will be one that I can grow to old age, and get it feeding properly, and hopefully we won't have any issues on that. Should be alright in here for a little while, until I get a suitable enclosure for it, and then feed that one up. Hopefully that'll be awesome. So I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. So they're all the gifts I got. So what did I buy myself? Well, we got a Spider Shot arboreal enclosure, same as that one there, the 20 by 20 by 30. We got a Mantis Den 15 by 15 by 20, same as the ones I've got there. And we also got a Mantis Den 10 by 10 by 15, because I wasn't sure what we were going to need. I bought myself some, as you saw with the Rufus, I bought myself some of those tubs. They're quite cool. They're quite like, they've got a little lid one side to open up. I bought myself a few of them, and then substrates and some moss. And the reason we did the moss is because the one spider I went to buy for myself, which we are going to be rehousing shortly, is the big Theraphosa, the sturmi, the Goliath bird eater. This thing was a really nice deal from Bugnut. it's impressive looking. It has got some serious fangs, it has got some serious attitude, and it's got a serious backside. But we've just been out to buy a enclosure for this because I have got my 60 by 45. Obviously this thing is not going to go that straight into that. This is too small. But I did buy a 13 litre tub today, so we're going to drill some holes in that and put some peat moss in there, put a bit of other mix of substrate, a bit of cocoa fibre and some sand, get that all mixed up, get it nice, get the holes drilled in, big bit of cork bark, nice big water bowl, bit of moss, and get this one in. This one ate in here last night. I could have carried on feeding it non-stop I think, but it literally ate and ate and ate. So this one needs to come out very, very soon. And then I bought some spiders for some other people as gifts, and unfortunately a couple of the people had left for the day, so I've also had to rehouse a couple of little agenslings. So I have some agens as well that I picked up. But when I came home last night, my large Lacidoria parabana had molted, my Callenbergi had molted, and my H. gigas had molted. So that was also a nice surprise. Right, anyway, that's enough of me rambling. It was a really good day. Absolutely amazing to see people. Loads of hugs, loads of good banter, lots of chats. Lost my voice. It was just a brilliant day. Really nice day, and I appreciate everyone that stopped and said hello to me. I appreciate everyone who watched the channel and made comments and just, you know, generally was just giving such lovely feedback on things. Long may it continue, eh? Right, let's get some things rehoused. Let's go. So, this is the setup we have for the sturmi. 13 litre tub from Hobby Life, and we've got a load of moss, peat moss as a substrate, nice big sort of pre-dug tunnel, which is, as you can see, quite deep, bit of bark, nice big water bowl, and hopefully the spider will be fine in there. As you can see, there it is. So it's got room in there for now, before we move it into our big final enclosure at some point. But yeah, I suppose we just got to get this one in here now. So let's do that. So we're at a slight different angle, just due to the height of this enclosure. We're going to hopefully see this spider go into its home and stay there. So we haven't really got much in the way of anything to do apart from take the lid off and get this one into there. We do have a catch cup. We do have a long pipette for using in lieu of a paintbrush that I don't have a big enough paintbrush for. It was fed last night, but the food response on these things is astronomical, and I don't mind admitting, taking these lids off, it's a little bit nerve-wracking. Don't really like them, especially when the corners get stuck like this and you can't get them up. There's 3 off. We'll go for the 4th, and then what we'll do is we'll just lift it off using the tongs. We'll put the actual spike. Come on. Why do they be a pain? Eh? Why do they be a pain? It's almost like this corner of this one is actually stuck down. There we go. So we have the spider in, and we're just going to encourage it to try and go into its home that way, nice and gently. And there we go with the feeding response. It's not aggression, it's just a massive feeding response from this spider. So it doesn't like the new anything new, but we'll just give it a little bit of time to move. No flicking of hairs or anything like that. It's just, let's move that over a little bit. No flicking of hairs or anything, it's just a feeding response with these guys. We just got to get it off of this tub nice and gently. There we go. And that, oh, let's get you off there. Where have we gone with him? And this is our new home for our sturmi. Look how gorgeous that thing is. The coloration on these guys is amazing, isn't it? Eh? What do we think? Hopefully enjoys its new home. What I will do is I will give it a feed. We're going to give it a dubia in a second, and we'll see how that one eats. Right. See how this responds to a dubia, shall we? I think that's a successful feeding. Yeah, these things are absolutely amazing for their feeding response. Definitely don't want to have your fingers in the way. Right, okay, so that's the Theraphosa anyway. So time to move on to the next one. So now that's done, and the sturmi is up here on the shelf. Not going into that just yet. Move the isopods down there because this shelf's too small to put that in there and keep it nice. So we're having that up there for now. May move it, but we're leaving it there for now. We've got to build some of these barbarian enclosures, which I've already pre-drilled the holes on, because we need to house that, and we need to rehouse that Avic featherleg. So I'm not going to bother doing a time lapse of building these, because again they take forever. So as per last week, we're going to use the power of the click, and we're going to turn this into this. And we have two enclosures built. 15 by 15 by 20, 20 by 20 by 30. That's for the Avic. This is for the featherleg. I have another one of these which I need to put a poultry in as well. So we've got to get these rehoused into here. So it's going to be substrate, cork bark, and we're done. Water bowls obviously. Yes, these are all drilled again, as you can see. These have got the mantis den with all the drilled holes in it. And this one's spider shot one, and what I've done is I've actually put extra holes around the sides and the back just to give it a nice bit more airflow. But you know, the Avic can have this one simply because the doors on it doesn't matter with these ones. They're quite nice, but Avic's not going to cause too much grief with that. I'd rather have an Avic in one of the lifting doors than an Old World or a Salma Pierce in one of these doors. They're probably fine, but I just prefer the locking mechanism of these when we're talking about anything that's got a little bit of oomph to its attitude. Right, let's get on and sort these enclosures out then. So what we're going to do with this one is the Avic's going in here. We have our piece of cork bark, nice little bit. It's going to go in there. I've put these two pieces together, if it'll focus. I've got two pieces together that are hot glue gunned, give it a nice little branch tree. You'll see it when it goes in there. But what I need to do is we need to catch cup this, because I want to use some of this old stuff out of here so it doesn't all go to waste. So I'm going to grab out the Avic out of this, we're going to transfer some of this stuff into the new enclosure, and then we're going to come back. Woo! Catch cup, move the Avic nice and gently into the cup. Come on, mate. Oh, what are you doing? Come on. Laid a big web down, but we want him to go into this catch cup, so unfortunately, mate, we have to move you over. Come on, get over. Get your legs up. Come on. There we go. No drama with that one at all. Absolutely beautiful spider. Absolutely beautiful spider. Right, so now we can use some of the old stuff into the new enclosure. Right. And that's pretty much it. We have the enclosure sorted. Not sure how good the lighting's making it look, but the old substrate out of there is in there mixed with the new stuff. We have cork bark, which I think looks really nice. We've got a nice area up there, sort of like branching off, and then we have the other piece of wood that was in the old enclosure stuck up against it, keep it stable. There's lots of space around the back. If I just shut the door, you can see we've got all the space around the back for the spider to web up. The only thing we're missing is a big water bowl for down there. I've actually got to go out and get a load of water bowls tomorrow, so the water bowl will be going in, but for today we're going to put it in. It's got a water bowl up here anyway, so it's not like the spider's not going to be able to live in there, but we're going to get the spider in there now and then we'll come back. So we have the spider in the catch cup ready to go in the new home. Let's get it moved, shall we? Hopefully this top will just come off and the spider will turn round and go the correct way. So all we want it to do is walk nicely into the enclosure. Hopefully he'll do it all on his own accord, very slowly. Come on in, dude. Let's go. Let's go. Come on, you'll like it once you're in the new one. Come on. Come on, because we need the catch cup back. You're good. Come on. You can go on there. That's right. You cork bark. You like it, dude. Look at that. Look at that. He looks a little small. Well, she looks a little small in there, but this is now her forever home. So hopefully we can get her. Up she goes. Here we go. I do love how docile these spiders are. Look at that. What a beautiful spider. Awesome. Right, I think we'll call that a successful rehousing, albeit needs a bigger water bowl just down here. Hopefully she'll be okay through the night. Right, next up, clean this, move this.
One eternity later.
And the update that we've all been waiting for. I didn't film this because I wanted to make sure I concentrated, because these things aren't a joke. So I was making sure I had 100% focus and I wasn't worried about a camera or being in shot or anything like that. As you can see, we have a piece of tissue inside this enclosure. In there is the Stratopelma calceatum, featherleg baboon, and this is its new enclosure, hopefully forever. But be a male. Anyway, but what I've done is, the situation was this. All this was in the bathroom, my usual setup with the big tub around it, and I literally took the lid off the old enclosure that it was in, that little tiny red tub with the screw-on lid, and it wouldn't come out the bottom. There was no way for me to get to it. I couldn't see what I was doing. The tissue was in the way. So I used some tongs and I started to pull the top half of the tissue away, thinking it was all one piece and the whole thing would come out. However, the base was separate, so that's fine, because as I pulled the sides out, the tarantula stayed on the very bottom and it didn't move, so that was fine. I then thought to myself, maybe I can put the tub in here and it will come out, but the tub's too big for this enclosure, so that wasn't a starter either. So what I did was I decided to take the tongs and start moving the other piece of tissue with the tarantula on it to see if we could just move it up and put the tissue in here. It was going very well up until the point when the tissue got into this enclosure and the tarantula decided to do a lap. It came out from the enclosure, up over the thing I was holding, underneath and underneath the door, and it was on this outside of the door, but the door was obviously open, so it was on the ground. So the tarantula was underneath and it stopped. It was fine. You let it move, it gets to a certain point, they stop moving, leave them, right? Let them relax, you relax, take a breath, reset. And that's what I did. I luckily had a cricket tub with me. So I lifted the door with some tongs very carefully and put the cricket tub underneath and then lowered the door back down onto the cricket tub. Cricket tub's slightly wider than this, but it didn't matter. Tarantula was now secured between door and cricket tub. I then started to move the cricket tub to one side with the lid of the cricket tub over the edge, so as I gradually moved it, the lid was over the top, and when we eventually left the door, tarantula was inside that. Job done. I think I've got a picture of that situation. I might put that up now. Anyway, I then decided, I thought to myself, how are we going to get it from the cricket tub into here? Because the cricket tub again is too large for this enclosure. So then I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll take a sling vial. I will wrap it in the tissue that I had so that it creates a dark environment, because these things do like the dark. They will seek the dark out, they will hide. I wrapped it in there, I moved the lid, I put the sling vial in. Then what I did was I took a stick and I slowly touched the back of the tarantula, and it moved very slowly and carefully into the sling pot, face first. I then took the tweezers, lifted them into here, and this is what you can see now. We now have tarantula is still in here, and what I'm hoping is tonight is that this tarantula will come out of here, wander around behind the cork bark and end up making its home around there, because it won't want to stay in a sling vial forever. If it ends up making this its home forever, then c'est la vie. But mission is successful. We have a tarantula inside an enclosure with a door that is shut and secured.
Day 2.
Welcome back. So look, notice what's missing. Yes, the vial is out. Tarantula is now, I'll be very careful doing this, but tarantula is now happily residing down here on the cork bark. Hopefully this will focus and you'll be able to see where it is. There we go. Very well camouflaged, but we have a featherleg baboon inside the enclosure it should be, if my camera will focus. There we go. Nice bit of cork bark around the back, and that's where it can now live. So now we can move on to the next one, which happens to be this. So this was the old Avic enclosure, and it had version 1 of the replacement mesh lid. This is just a plastic piece from a bra plast tub, and as you can see, it's got holes, it's got a bit of sellotape on both sides where it cracked, but yeah, that used to just be screwed in with the lid of the enclosure that they used to supply sort of on top. Job done. But it doesn't look too great, does it? Look at that, it's all milky, etc, etc. So what we've done, as always, is we have a new acrylic piece to go on the top. Now this is an older design of mantis den enclosure, and as you can see, this part here is slightly smaller than the new ones. Yeah, much bigger, smaller. Doesn't matter, still fits on top. Drill holes already done for the corners. I've marked up the grid where we're going to put the other holes. So I've got to get this drilled out. Once we've got this drilled out, I've given this a good clean, got rid of all the Avix webbing, all the Avix poop from all the sides, and what we've got going in here is our lovely little, oh it's out, the CMRRA pulcher, there we go, just there. That one is getting an upgrade into this, and that's what we're going to be putting in a minute. Right, and we're back. And we have the new lid all sorted out. Nice acrylic top, it's fit nicely. As we can see, a little bit smaller gap here than, like I said, the newer ones, but still looks good. We have all our substrate in. We have some cork bark, we have our door, we have our water bowl, we have some moss. So let's get this put together. And then what we can do afterwards is move the spider in. Hopefully this won't take too long. A couple of bits of cork bark, I know where they want to go. I think we're done. Pin that in there like that. That'll do. One thing we do need, a little bit of greenery maybe. So let's get some of that and then we'll carry on. And we're done. We've got some nice new leaves in there. Let's get this camera off and have a look properly, shall we? So we've got some nice greenery in there, the cork bark and some moss in there along with the water bowls, cork bark and everything else. Doors back on, and as you can see, if we can get around the reflection, nice deep substrate, keep the humidity up, loads of room around the back for the spider. Right, let's get this little missus into here then. And here we are again in the place where we do all the rehousings, the bathroom. As you can see, we have the porcher. It's actually out for a change. Hopefully it won't dart off when I do this again. Okay, we're taking it out of here just because this tub's awful. It's probably okay in here for another molt, but why would you do that? Might as well get it out of here. Look at that. Definitely needs a rehome. And at least in the new place, this will have an awful lot of room for growing. So let's get this one moved. We've got our catch cups, just in case. We've got a few various ones. Because you never know what you're going to need when you need it. So might as well have them around. And this thing does like to bolt. So let's take the lid off and see what this one does today. Hopefully it's just going to be a real calm movement into the new enclosure. Let's put that like that. I know you guys can't really see what's going on, but what we'll do is we're now going to try and poke the spider in the direction that we want it to come. In fact, what we'll do, let's get the tweezers on this bit of wood. Here we go. Right, spider's now a little bit peed. Nice and calm. Nice and calm. No. There we go. They do like to go up, so and as you always find out, they never want to leave their old home either. Being nice and stubborn, this one. I know you can't see what's really going on, but it's now sitting on top of its enclosure. Come on. Whatever you go that way. Come on. Come on. One more leg. There we go. And we're in. And not too terrible, as you can see at the back of the thing. No cat cut was needed. Let's get the camera focused, do we? There we go. In the back of its new home. Just out there. Stunning looking spider. Probably coming up to another molt anyway at some point soon. Its abdomen's gone quite dark. But yeah, as you can see, not too much. Loads of growing space in there for her. Or him. And hopefully it will be a nice little environment for it to thrive and survive. This one, look at it. Look at that. I mean, it's like, you know, it's horrible. All this stuff is all gone. So I'm glad, and the main thing is we're out of this deli pot with the dodgy lid. That thing kept coming off, so we have a poacher in there. Awesome. And we're done. So what did you think of Brighton if you went? I thought the show was brilliant. What did you think of my pickups? What did you think of my gifts? And what did you think of the 2.5 rehouses that we got done? I must say, the sturmi is absolutely awesome. I sit there just staring at it. It's so lovely. It's going to be an absolute tank as long as I can keep it nice and healthy. Right, I just want to say a special thank you to Mark Ashton, Mark the Spider Guy. Channel link below if you're not subscribed to him. Just an awesome guy. I want to say a special thanks to Scott Tasker. I want to say thank you to Lewis, Kris, Leah, Terry, Ian Tarantula, Luke at Spar Spiders, Daddy Spar, Dave Fisher, Chaz, Erin, my missus, Kathy and Connor for coming along, and Caitlin. I also want to say thank you to the people at Ports and Tarantulas for a good conversation, and I want to say thank you to Clayton Patilla of Bugnut for the sturmi. Obviously I paid for it, but I just want to thank him for actually having one on the table. So yeah, anyway, if you did enjoy this video, please give it a like, maybe subscribe if you haven't already. It's always nice to sort of know that people are watching. And I'll see you again next week. We've got a little review next week, a review of things that have gone on. So maybe we'll see you then. Thanks a lot. Bye.